Wow, guys, it's all about to go down. I didn't get 95,000 subscribers by reporting bad news. Trump is finally going after Ilhan Omar for marrying her brother. You guys gotta check this video out.
The border czar Tom Homan joins us tonight to talk about Minnesota as well as a number of other issues. And sir, it's good to have you back on the show. Trump mentioning the Daily Mail reporting from 2020 that Ilhan Omar married her brother to get into the country. This was last week. Take a listen.
Look at their nation. Look how bad their nation is. It's not even a nation. It's just people walking around killing each other. They've taken billions and billions of dollars. They have a representative, Illhan Omar, who they say married her brother. It's a fraud.
Calls that a fraud. It's a story that has never been successfully refuted, even though it's.
And guys, I don't mean to pause this video as much, but this is going to be a really good video. They don't call these Somalis pirates for nothing, right? I think all of her finances need to be investigated and they need to be frozen while they're doing so because this is completely outrageous. They took advantage of American taxpayers and then they're going to send this money to Somalia. They're going to really send this money to Somalia like they just don't care. I mean, uh, the problem's like out of control at this point. There's so much stuff coming out. You guys got to check this video out.
Now a 5-year-old story. That's clearly a deportable offense. Is there an investigation into that?
You know, I just got advised by a fraud investigator the other day on that. I asked the question, who reviewed the file and says, there was immigration fraud involved. The statute of limitations became an issue in the last 4 years when this was first brought up. Who was president? Who ran DOJ? So pulling the records now, pulling the files, and we're looking at, but this fraud investigator, who I know personally, one of the best fraud investigators in HSI, Homeland Security Investigations, said there's no doubt he reviewed the file. So I'm running that down this week, matter of fact, and we'll see.
Now let's swoop into this video from Benny Johnson because it's about to get crazy.
Because Benny, President Trump has this innate ability to keep a secret when he doesn't want you to know something.
Yeah.
Maybe he's too good at that, but then also to really lay the groundwork for something that is about to happen. And he's been talking nonstop about how Ilhan Omar married her brother. We're going to talk about that revelation and all of the evidence to prove that it actually happened, and there's quite a bit of it. But President Trump out this morning saying Ilhan Omar married her brother. Check this out.
That you do want to see in America?
Well, they certainly contribute. Yeah, I want to see people. Yeah, I want to see people that contribute. I don't want to see Somalia. I don't want to see a woman that, marries her brother to get in and then becomes a congressman, does nothing but complain. All she does is complain, 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 and yet her country's a mess. It's one of the worst in the world. Let her go back, fix up her own country. No.
So Donald Trump out saying, listen, Ilhan Omar comes here as a penniless refugee. We accept her. I don't know exactly why we have to accept refugees in this country. Why don't they stay and rebuild their own countries, right? Like, wait a second, you destroyed your country. Why are you coming here to destroy my country? And more importantly, there's a 99.99% Muslim population in Somalia. Why don't other Muslim countries take these populations of refugees? There's tons of African countries, there's tons of Muslim countries. Why don't the other 89 Muslim countries take the Muslim refugees? This I do not understand because America is not a Muslim country, right? And so just prima facie, we're going to have a much harder time integrating that culture into our society. President Trump is right there. The reason why he keeps talking about marrying her brother, what I hope is happening is the whistleblower that came to our program and said that there is demonstrable evidence to prove that Ilhan Omar married her brother. They have it at DHS. They have it inside of our immigration system. They've proven this dead to rights.
Freaky.
I hope that President Trump is going to release that. Allegedly has been brought to the White House. But this article is making the rounds once again. Exclusive, Ilhan Omar did marry her brother, and she did what she'd have to do to get him papers. U.S. Somali leader reveals. Laura Ingraham shared this last night. It's been seen by 25 million people. Also,
I just got a question, guys, and you feel free to chime in the comments, but how much blatant fraud do American taxpayers have to put up with? Because I think there needs to be investigation, and why was there not investigation for someone, a part of Congress, to go from $0 to a $30 million net worth in 5 years? I mean, why, no red flags at all? I get that people scheme, I get that people scam, but they're doing this right in front of our eyes, right in front of our faces, and they don't want us to care about it. They think, oh, well, we just blame it on the next person, and 2 weeks they'll forget about it. They'll go on to something else. Let's keep hyping up the Trump hate in the media, and then let's hope they get distracted by that. Because I think that's exactly what they're doing. Because week after week, there's a new scandal to someone a part of this Democratic Party, and a week after that, or 2 weeks after that, we forget about it, or they think we forget about it. But there's so many receipts on how much fraud, dating back to 2020, of how much fraud is actually going on. I'm actually getting upset. Actually, this is sick.
Also, the White House shared this last night. Look at this. Worth reading from 2020. It is a few years old, this article. Illhan Omar did marry her brother and said that she'd do what she had to do to get a paper.
Sick.
So let's go ahead and read the article that they shared. We'll just go through the top line here, what the article states. The findings of the article and this investigation go like this. Illhan Omar told friends years ago that the man that went on to become her second husband was in fact her brother. The first person to go on the record, speak out about it, is a Somali leader from Minneapolis. And he said, yeah, this is obviously her brother. She wanted to get him papers, and this is the way to fast track getting a visa. You marry someone. It had long been rumored that Omar and Ahmed Elmi are siblings. But because of the lack of paperwork in war-torn Somalia, it's never been uncovered. Also in Somalia, inbreeding is at rates of nearly 50% among tribal populations.
Trifling.
So this isn't even frowned on. The whistleblower said she needed to get papers for her brother to go to school. We all thought she was just getting papers for him in the country. Omar was married to her second husband in 2009 by a Christian minister in a Christian church, although she was Muslim. So what she's doing is it's not seen as a real marriage in Islam. She's doing it to trick the system. She was first married in 2002 in a Muslim ceremony. They split up in 2008.
So a Somali woman, a refuge, say, comes here, gets $30 million, and has nothing good to say about America, and he repeatedly takes advantage of the system, and no one's raising their eyebrows. But every little piece of ammo that you give these people so far on the left, they attack Trump. But there's literally documentation, there's literally facts proving that this fraud is going on. But they would rather be screwed than respect our president. Something's fishy about that.
She had another child with her first husband while legally married to the man who is her brother. They got married. A lot of people were invited. It was a big Islamic wedding, uniting two large clans in the community. He added, when she married her brother, no one knew about it. No one had been to the wedding because there wasn't even a marriage certificate. The marriage certificate was turned up years later. So this extensive and exhaustive story then leads to this. DNA evidence. Is this proof that Illhan Omar married her own brother to bypass U.S. immigration rules? Conservative group's DNA test from the Congresswoman's cigarette butt purports to show 99% match for her second husband, her brother. So they went and they got a cigarette that she was smoking. You leave DNA on everything, that you touch, strand of hair, skin, whatever. They say that the match for the DNA taken from the cigarette butt and one that they got from Elmi's, this is her brother's, drinking straw are a 99% match because, well, they're siblings. So, I don't know. Does this stand up to scientific rigor? Is this something that should be tested in a court of law, like an immigration court? Yeah, sure. Right? The president and his team should actually go about prosecuting this. Because again, according to my sources at DHS, they got it. They got her dead to rights. Maybe this is why Illhan Omar is increasing her net worth, skyrockets to as much as $30 million a month after denying she was a millionaire. Illhan Omar is now worth $30 million. She entered Congress with negative money. She was $65,000 in debt when she entered Congress in 2020. Now, in 5 short years, She's a multi-millionaire. Really begs the question. It really begs the question.
That's what I'm saying.
So Trump is repeating this time and time again. He's saying it again and again and again. He's going after Somalia. And obviously he did this on Thanksgiving Day in a post seen by 77 million people. Ladies and gentlemen, Trump has often joked about sending Illhan Omar back to Somalia. He said the Somali president said, no, thank you. From Somalia, who's telling us to run our country. Would you like to take her back? He says, I don't want her.
Guys, I think it's to that point, you know, where you're tired of seeing me, you're tired of hearing Benny, you're tired of even hearing Trump. You want to see action. I think it's one of those things where, you know, someone's not gonna know you're serious until you actually show them that you're serious. And Ilhan Omar needs to be taught a lesson. I'm sorry, I'm just gonna go and say it. Ilhan Omar needs to be sent over there because then people will take this presidency more serious. She needs to be sent away, or she needs to at least be thrown in jail for a day to know that there's consequences for taking advantage of the American people. Please, guys, let me know what you think about this video down below in the comments. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe if you're new, and as always, let me know what you react to. We're out.